Hi, I'm Matt Perry with Perry Window Cleaning in Springfield, Ohio. This is Lesson 2, Perry Window Cleaning Advanced Skills, Lesson 2. The idea is to help beginners and even experienced window cleaners with some tips to help you speed up your game and still do an excellent job and please the customer. If you haven't seen the first one, I would suggest you do that. See Lesson 1. In Lesson 1, just a quick review. We learned a tip on the edge of the glass called feathering. You do a little bit of feathering and then come back to the edge. It rakes that water in a little better, leaves a little less, reduces the trim. If you do the swirl method, where the squeegee stays on the glass constantly and then finish out at the bottom, you can eliminate altogether sometimes, or at least reduce, if you use the third tip we learned, proper soaping, where you keep the soap mitt away from the edges, not quite touching the edge of the frame, but very close. Let the squeegee that passes through the water do the rest of the work for you. And you can get by with zero detailing in some cases, or very little. Time saver is the two-hand method. Have the squeegee in one hand, soap mitt in another. Time saver as well. Well, today, this lesson, we are going to learn a few more techniques. One is going to be involved with the feathering that we need, and we're going to learn the 7 technique. The 7 technique or 7 method is very handy for taller windows that are a little harder to reach, even with the wagtail where you can turn windows on a pole. It's very tough if it's a tall window. So I'm going to introduce a tool to you here. You may have already seen it or may have one yourself. This is the Ettore or Ettore flip. Now this one can be reversed around. You can use this as soap mitt and squeegee together. Kind of eliminates the two-hand method. However, when you get close to the edge, if you've got a very big frame, it is hard to finish the trim out on the edge. And if you're going to use this to soap and squeegee simultaneously, it will save you time, but I would suggest using something smaller than a 20-inch. We did this for one day, and I thought my arm was going to fall off for the next 2 days. A little more weight on the arm, some different moves that you're not used to, and so work up to the big one. And start with maybe a 14-inch or so. But then that 14-inch is not real practical on big storefront windows. So the other things we're going to learn to work with today, a tool here that we use quite often, it's an angle adapter. Now this one's fixed. You can get some that have a little wing nut on them and they'll adjust whatever angle you want. That comes in handy, but that'll be for some different videos as well. We won't have time to go into that. Here's the advantage. This is about the right angle, if you're on the glass, this is about the right angle that you need to do a good job of fanning the window. Okay? And you see where your pole goes, down this direction, okay? Which means you have to stand back 3 or 4 foot from the glass, depending on how tall the window is with your pole. Now what if you've got a bookcase or a file cabinet right here, and you just barely have enough room for you in there? Well, here's where your angle adapter comes in handy. Put it on in this direction. Get it up there where you can see it here on the camera. And now, proper angle right here. But with this, you can be directly under the glass, pull down, and have your proper angle for squeegeeing. Now, ideal with the wagtail, gives you much more flexibility. If you're out beyond a desk or a thorn bush, this gives you, here's your proper angle again, and with the angle adapter reversed the opposite way, which you're going to see today, this gives you a good distance. You can stand away from the glass and squeegee clear down even to almost a 90-degree angle across from where you're at. Very handy in a lot of situations. On the water, it's a little hard to see when I had my mirror on the other one. Pretend this is the top of your water. Maybe your frame's still up here, but you got water here in the middle of the glass. As your squeegee passes through this water, up and out of it, the water goes where it belongs. It runs down away from the edge. And as long as you're moving, now if you stop, yeah, the water will run right off the end of that squeegee and stay on your glass. But with the continuous motion, even reversing and coming back through, you'll clean up the water and control the water flow. Well, keep this in mind with the 7 method because you're going to see it passing through the water. That's the key to it. And then coming down. Prevents pull down marks. And you also see we can rake the top of the glass with the 7 method and leave 0 water if you did proper soaping as well. It's a combination as we're learning. So if you need to, I reviewed so I can tell you what I taught you in the first video. If you need to review the first video, then come back to watch this one. So without further ado, we're going to get busy here. We're on the job here at Mater Electric Motor in Springfield, Ohio. We're going to concentrate on that center window you see with no divider halfway down. And we'll find that Roger inside will make it a little distracting for us, but we'll do the best we can. And you'll see what I'm talking about. First of all, we're soaping up, going to eliminate a few pieces of bird dirt that were left behind. Notice how long it takes to change a tool, about 10 seconds. With the Yatori flip, less than a second to flip it around. So just another time saver. So there's the tool change, the scraper's on there. My son-in-law Dewey's taken this picture, and we're going to work it about halfway down because that's as far as you can go with the pole without losing your angle. And then the other half, we're going to clean with the wagtail on the pole with the angle adapter we talked about. This tool change, as you saw, took 11 seconds. Now we're going back to the top of the window with the Yatori flip. Notice we're soaping close to the top, but not all the way. Proper soaping. Soap half the window, the part that we intend to squeegee, that we can get down to without losing our angle with our pole. And the first turnaround we'll make, we'll do a feathering right here to eliminate some water at the top. Then we take an angle and rake across the top, clearing an edge at the top in the shape of a 7, if you'll notice that. Coming down the edge carefully for our first start. Now we'll go back, pass through the water into the dry, and bring it down again. This keeps water from running around the bottom or the side of the squeegee. As you can see, it's going fine. Now you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a moment as Roger is continuously jumping around to get our attention inside. And final pull here. Sometimes you can tap off on the glass the excess water and feather and come on down. Say hi to Roger. I think Roger's had too much coffee. Although we did notice some bullet holes in the lower part of the glass. Maybe Roger has to dance around while he's inside working. Now my son-in-law is on the inside and looking out. I've got the angle adapter attached to the Yatori pole. I went to a lighter weight pole, by the way, just for comfort and ease of doing the work. And after soaping the bottom half of the window where we left off, we'll switch now to the slimline wagtail, and with the angle adapter facing upwards for the distance part, as we showed you earlier. Coming up through the water, just like we did with the 7 method. And now swirling just as if this was in our hands, working down the edges of the glass, the rainbow shapes across the center, and then try to finish at the bottom of the glass. You know, they say repetition is the mother of skill. So we're going to show you in different locations many repeats of the wagtail and also the Yatori flip in action. So enjoy, and thank you for watching.